Oh man, wow. They you really got to start signing and paying it in the IMDb now to look at people's reviews. That's crazy. Even by the slightest thing, mate. Greedy ass company. But anyway, welcome back to Underrated Movies. I'm your guy, I'm your man, Mr. Alton Henry. Today, I'm going to talk about the Lee Cronin's The Mummy. And I just saw that today, and I don't think there's not enough hype about it because yeah, even I was prejudging it because of the iconic Brendan Fraser movie that we all know, love, and adored in the 90s. So this is pitched as a supernatural body horror movie. 2026 is Lee Cronin's The Mummy, which this filmmaker I haven't seen. He made one A24 film called Hole in the Ground. That's a horror film, and then he made shoot, there was another horror film he did. It was another his special this filmmaker specialty is supernatural horror. Which hey, if you have a niche in the genre that good, you're probably gonna do well with it, like Sam Raimi. But anyway, the film stars Jack Rainier, Leah Koska, who is the actually the main actress from the one take film Victoria, and I feeling like she was familiar because her face stood out. May Call of Callaway. She was in Moon Knight, which I also recognized. Like, wait, why does she look familiar? Anyway, now the story centers on a family who is reunited with their long lost missing daughter, who has been mummified, and find out that there's something more seriously wrong with her. That's pretty much what the story is. It was through New Line Cinema, Blumhouse. Blumhouse. I'm gonna get to the point. This movie was great. Okay, it was phenomenal. To me, this movie was a throwback to those big budget horror movies during the like mid 2000s, like monster movie kind of like this is the return from what I've seen here of really good, entertaining, popcorn, well done horror mainstream movie. And I mean to say it like that in that exact form because this movie, I actually had a blast with it. Now there were a few hiccups in the beginning where I think there were a lot of things that some of the characters done that didn't make too clear, and I was ready to judge the film. But the film was surprisingly good. Okay, you have Jack Rainier, a father who loses his kid. Uh, Kid was kidnapped, and she returns 8 years later to find out that when she returns, she is kind of disfigured and in a comatose state where she kind of looks like she's been mummified. So the family, Jack and then his wife, Leah, spent a good chunk of time, mostly Jack, to try to figure out what are these markings and what are uh, these markings that are on her skin and uh, the tomb that was she was held in. Uh, he tries to kind of figure out in a point in time when she was taken the clues of who was connected to it and what could be the issue of what happened to her. And I actually like that kind of like later on to the film where May Calloway, she plays a police detective, uh, how her character kind of gets wrapped up into investigating. This movie feels like a throwback to like um, horror. drama thrillers where it's more where it's more on the mystery side and the horror slowly comes in. And the more you witness the horror, it is more shocking and more more brutal because the film chooses to be a crime family drama, and you see the family is in complete distress with missing their kid, and then when they come back, you see the damage that the child does to the family, and the mm, state that she is in is gut wrenching. To be honest with you, like I'd be honest with you, there were parts of this movie I was really at the edge of my seat, and I couldn't believe it. How well this film was expertly directed. And it actually like some of the elements that they were making into this movie were it felt parallel through throughout time. And what I mean by that is it kind of gets you thinking of where the main character is trying to investigate the clues that were on his daughter, like some of the markings that it date back to ancient Egypt times, and he was trying to cross-reference how that relates to modern times and why is it's impacting his daughter. It made me think about, as time goes on, um, there's people out there literally doing the same teachings of these spiritual rituals that they would try to pass down, like a hereditary thing, and it literally makes me think about the uniqueness of our world and what it's and the history behind it, because it really makes you feel um these ideas that they've talked about with this mummy um uh feels very hereditary. It feels very like like the teachings are constantly taught, or and there's people out there that are trying to practice it and still trying to get away with it and and trying to pass on this weird and evil idea and this evil idea, and it can be evil being. And I really felt the horror of that in this film, and I thought this film did a great job showing that um, in this movie. I actually like that the film becomes a drama, family drama, and then also the detective story. And I like that those two kind of mashed into one another, and this director did a great job mashing those elements in and finding a balanced tone, and to kind of just let the horror happen and naturally, where it's more tragic with the girl who's becoming just more of a monster as the film goes on, and it's revealed that of the shocking reveal, which I won't go into detail. I encourage you guys to really watch this movie because this movie was just that dang good. Uh, I thought the effects were great. The movie, I didn't realize it was clocking over 2 hours, 2 hours and 14 minutes. From what the runtime says, it doesn't even feel like that, man. Like it, I thought the movie was perfectly paced. It kind of also reminds me of this other supernatural horror film I like called the uh, it's the film with James Bagdale. Um, I like when movies take their time to get to their point A, point B, point C. I mean, as long as the filmmaker is able to find a balance to show what's enough with character, the stakes, and to balance the elements of the genres that they were trying to add into this into a movie. And I think that's very tough to do, to find the right rhythm, to find a pleasing factor to sell people what you want to sell and tell them the way you want to tell. No, it's not The Wicker. Man, I'm gonna be thinking about this. Actually, one of my favorite horror films. Uh, like the and it's crazy because even when the film when they introduce you to this the intro of the film and it sets off the idea I was telling you about earlier that you have people, witches or servants of some entity that is trying to pass on these the basically the devil's work, and it's scary to see that and how real that kind of feels, which that does happen. Um, and I actually like the stakes of what this family is trying to grasp. There's a character in this film, and it's a grandma, who becomes part of the story. I felt so bad for her character. Like every time she's trying to find, she like she hasn't met, her eldest daughter, granddaughter for so long, and she's trying to find a way to reconnect. She's prayed for her and all that, and the possessed kid just keep beating her down. I won't tell you what happens to her, but it does. That part really made me sad for what happened to her. That was horrific. Like man, it has been a long time since a mainstream horror film. Well, no, it's been 4 years because I really like Nope. Nope was great, but that's a different genre. So I would say since Nope, it has been that long since I literally enjoyed a mainstream horror film that literally I literally walked out and said I had a great freaking time with this movie, and I highly recommend everybody go see this film. So, and do not compare it to Brandon Fraser's Mummy, because that's an action horror. This is a horror film, like a film that's basically a it's another take of it. I won't even say it's an interpretation of it. Yeah, it's an interpretation of it. It's not a remake. It's just a new thing of it from this filmmaker, and that's why he adds his name on there, which is actually a nice trademark. If you add your name on a project, it's like this is your interpretation of an idea, and you go with it. So I really enjoyed it. It does have some gore. There was a little bit of style that they really did with this film. I thought was very unique. So I really dug this. I can tell you this probably will be one of my top 10 movies of the year. In fact, I enjoyed it so much I literally wouldn't mind watching it again in the theater. I'm dead serious. So go check this movie out. Ali Cronin's The Mummy. Have you seen it? Comment below if you haven't seen it. Do give this movie support if it's in your budget, and let me know what is your favorite underrated movie, y'all.